Hey everybody, Spartan here from SpartanTrading.com. I want to hit you guys with an educational video this week, and in this week I want to talk about improving your patience in trading in 2 minutes or less. So let's get to it. So, a couple different things. Last week I talked about using larger time frames. Now, one of the biggest keys to improving your patience is using a larger time frame or switching the time frame that you're using so that you can see the bigger picture of what's actually going on. Let's say I'm playing UPST. And let's bring it up on a 10-minute chart, which we have right here, and let's bring it up on a 1-minute chart. Now, this is something that we did take long this morning, and we held it the entire day. Now, if I'm using a 1-minute time frame, I'm going to be in this trade in the morning, and I'm going to be getting out of it almost, right away on this pullback. Now, if I took the trade, let's say I took it at 206.65, I missed the sell up at 213, and I held it, and I got stopped out at my entry price, and then the trade continues to go up higher because it held support. I'm going to miss out on a huge move to the upside, almost 13.5 points, just because I was using a smaller time frame and not looking at the actual bigger picture of what's going on. When you use a bigger picture, like a 10-minute chart, once you're in a time, or once you take an entry on something, you're able to stay in something longer because you're going to be able to actually look at that longer term trend. In this regard, we're looking at it holding this EMA support. It never broke this short-term EMA support to the downside, never came back to any of these EMA supports, which would typically be an exit signal for me for almost the entire day. Now, because of that, I was able to stay in the trade pretty much the entire day. I actually took an option roll on it when I exited the equity because I wanted to have a no-risk trade on, which I'm still in. And effectively, I stayed in the trade for hours rather than just minutes. Now, when we use a small time frame, we tend to get shaken out of things fairly quickly. So a couple things to ask yourself when you're taking a trade, if you're having an issue with patience, is this. Maybe a mental checklist can work for you, but the mental checklist can consist of this. Is the trend still holding on my time frame? Is the trend still holding on a bigger time frame? That's an intraday time frame if you're day trading. Yes, yes. If you're swing trading, is the trend still holding on a bigger time frame? Yes. Does the risk reward still make sense? Yes. Why are you exiting the trade? Is liquidity still there? Yes or no? Maybe buying volume is drying up. That could be a reason to exit. If there's no extension, there's no reason to exit that position. If basically the question is yes to trend still holding, still looks good on a bigger time frame, there's still liquidity, it's not extended, then there's no reason to be exiting that position. So you got to ask yourself these things when you're in a trade in order for you to increase your patience and stay in something a little bit longer. When you first start trading, of course, you're quickly to get in and out of things because you're a little bit more emotional. When you start asking these questions, you start to look at the situation from a 50,000 foot view, and logic kicks in a lot more, and it's going to actually take over your decision making process, and that's what we want. We don't want emotion, affecting your decision making process. So, increasing patience in a couple minutes. Use a larger time frame, mental checklist, and that should help. Now, probably over 2 minutes here, but if you guys do have any questions going forward, you can reach out, SpartanTrading.com. Always happy to help. Hopefully this helped you guys, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks for watching.